Hi guys, welcome back to Sports Angle. I'm back. Yes, it's been a long break. Um, yeah, I'm really sorry for the inconsistency in uploading, but not going to make any tall promises that I'm going to be coming back every week. But yes, there is sound reason to come back. So the first and foremost thing is yes, everybody knows this by the looks of the jersey, and if you look at the calendars, the World Cup is just only a few days away. The Cricket World Cup is just a few days away, and yes, we have lots to talk about. We have lots to talk about the favorite teams. We have lots to talk about how ICC is, making the tournament interesting. How all the favorite teams are piling up, and what are the final squads and how do they stack up. Now, of course, this is the sole World Cup India will be hosting without the help of Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, or Pakistan. So this is going to be a very, very exciting, tournament to see. And at the same time, this Indian squad has its strengths, it has its weaknesses. Of course, Rohit's first World Cup, Virat coming in form, Shubman Gill's first World Cup. There's a lot to discuss. So without further ado, let's get into it. I'm not going to be speaking much in detail as to how the Indian squad is looking, or for that matter, how the Australia squad is looking. I'm just going to be speaking generalistically as to how, what we can expect in this World Cup, specifically from India. And yes, hopefully we secure the third World Cup. That's the main wish. But yeah, for now, let's just get into the details of a few aspects for Team India and the World Cup. Okay, so of course, when we talk about the World Cup, there are many factors involved. The strength of the team, the strength of the bench, the kind of form the team is in, and of course, what to expect in different conditions. Because although the World Cup is happening in India, it's very well known that there are different grounds, they have different conditions. Every particular ground has a different dynamic to it. Some particular grounds favor spin, some particular grounds favor seam bowling, some particular grounds are batting havens. But the whole thing is how every team understands every conditions, and they use their particular bench to use it and get the optimal result. Because World Cup games are very different than of a series, or for that matter, even intercontinental cups, because the pressure is very different. You're here not only representing, say, a particular state or a particular IPL team. You're here representing, the dream of 1.3 billion people, which is winning the World Cup. And every game is a step towards the final and a step towards the cup. Now, this is the mental aspect of it. However, now the physical aspect is, of course, there's going to be extensive traveling. You're going to be in back-to-back matches. There are going to be promo shoots, X, Y, and Z. So I think the one aspect for the players is to keep themselves fresh, physically fresh, mentally fresh. But yes, let's talk about Team India in general, what their road has been towards the World Cup. So in the last 1 year, they've been quite successful in ODI series. We've been seeing that, starting from the year where they played New Zealand. Then of course there was a small bump against Australia right before the new year began. And so the thing what we are actually focusing on here is now India, whilst has done very well in the Asia Cup. They've faced competitive teams like Pakistan, like Sri Lanka, like that of Bangladesh. They've really tested themselves in a pressure situation, because the Asia Cup, I believe, is like a perfect preparatory tournament going to the World Cup, because you're going to be facing similar conditions, similar teams, even that type of a similar intensity, and very good exposure for youngsters like Shubman Gill, Shreyas Iyer, Ishan Kishan. They will understand what it means to represent India at the World Cup, and at the same time what the expectations are to repeatedly perform against high performance teams. Now, of course, whilst India won the Asia Cup, and that's a positive sign, there are a few aspects which India really, really need to focus on. One is the spin department. We really need a strike spin bowler in Kuldeep Yadav to get the wickets off, key batsmen breaking partnerships, because between those slog overs, I doubt India has the tendency to break a strong partnership, against sides like Australia and New Zealand, which we have historically struggled against. The second biggest aspect for India is playing at home. Playing at home has its own pressures, it has its own difficulty levels, because literally this is what the 2011 World Cup winning team has quoted, that wherever they went, to the airports, or for that matter the hotels, or for that matter any kind of press conferences, the expectation for them to win the World Cup, given that it was happening in India, was absolutely humongous. And that really, really tests your character. It really tests your demeanor. It really tests, your will to win at every stage. Because see, at the end of the day, the World Cup is not like a 3-match or a 5-match series. You're playing 9 consecutive high performance games where you're mentally drained, you're physically drained. You're going to be, against the best sides in the world. And mind you, England is looking fantastic. South Africa recently came back against Australia from a series where they were 2-0 down. Australia, whenever it's a World Cup, they're a side which is hungry to win and hungry to excel. New Zealand is a completely different animal when it comes to ICC tournaments. And you expect to see sides like Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka really giving their 110%, given that Sri Lanka was on a 13-run unbeaten streak. Afghanistan will probably have the pressure of finally growing out of the tag of the underdogs. And at the same time, I feel Bangladesh will now want to make a statement. It's been long now they have been part of the international circuit, been part of the huge teams. Now it's time that they show that they're not here to participate, they're here to take over. So India do face probably one of the toughest tests and the toughest World Cups of all time. The one advantage which remains is that yes, they've played in these home conditions. Not only played, they've excelled in these home conditions, and they are going into the perfect preparation into this World Cup. The perfect preparation, of course, is playing the Asia Cup. Right now, they're playing against Australia, probably the best side ever, I would say. In terms of, because they mentally prepare you, they physically prepare you. The Australians, from ball 1 to ball 300 in a game, they are at their 100% efficiency, and their attitude is absolutely incomparable. Now, talking about a few favorites as well, England will do very well. England, of course, has a very solid top order, very good bottom order, and at the same time, they have a good bowling lineup as well. Now, of course, I'll be deep diving into every team's strengths and weaknesses in the next video, where I'll be talking about a few favorites and how they might stack up and how they might what to expect. I'll also be talking about certain matches to look forward to, and the various conditions they are in. And most importantly, in this World Cup, I think what's going to be awesome is the fan experience. Already your tickets are out. I hope you've got your tickets too. I am really stoked to be going for India Sri Lanka as well, which is going to be happening in Wankhede Stadium. Really looking forward to that. Given that India Sri Lanka was the final in Wankhede Stadium in 2011, 2nd of April, historic game. So again, to be seeing that game is going to be amazing in person, and something which I look forward to. So concluding this video, see, with India, one aspect is pretty important, right? Is how they deal with pressure. Rohit's first ICC World Cup in the 50-over formats. Of course, we saw last year how he did, in the ICC 2020 format. Of course, we felt that we should have won given our batting form, how it unfolded. But okay, it's fine. It happens. This is sport. You win and you learn. And I feel like this Indian team has really learned from its mistakes. Really wanting to see how the Rohit and Rahul partnership goes into this World Cup. By Rahul, I mean Rahul Dravid. I think these two will be the masterminds. And now that they're managing the team so well, and fingers crossed everything is falling into place, I hope we see the long-awaited silverware for Team India. So fingers crossed. This is all for now, folks. I'll be coming back in the next video talking about the favorites, what to expect from these favorites, and at the same time, I'll be discussing a few ICC regulations as well. And yes, see you in the next video. So like, share, and subscribe, and do drop a comment on what you feel are India's chances for the World Cup.